Hey guys, welcome to Riding Shotgun. I'm your host, Dr. Lorie Lofquist. This podcast is going to take you for a ride in the passenger seat. So climb aboard so that you can get armed with everything that you need to know in order to make health and wellness decisions that are important for your life and your family's life. So sit back, relax, and let's roll. The next myth I always hear is babies shouldn't get chiropractic care or kids shouldn't get chiropractic care. It always flabbergasts me whenever I hear that a pediatrician has told a parent that a child should not receive chiropractic care, because I would never tell any of my patients that that child shouldn't go to their wellness visits with their pediatrician. We work together. We are not against each other in any way. I know that there's some chiropractors that are very anti-medicine, and I know that there's some medical doctors that are very anti-chiropractic. However, we should be on the same team. We should all be on team patient, and we should be looking out for the best interest of the patient. OSHA estimates that a child under the age of 5 has 1,500 spinal injuries before the age of 5. That's from falls, bumps, bruises, learning to walk, learning to crawl, running into doors. I mean, we've all seen these toddlers, falling around everywhere. And basically, children will get the best results from chiropractic care. They haven't had years and years of pounding bad habits into their body, so they respond very quickly. It is not something where it's like a child doesn't have to be in any major accident to need chiropractic care. Let's take birth, for instance. My son's birth was 12 hours long. I only spent probably 20 or 30 minutes of actual pushing part of labor. I was very lucky. There are some ladies that I have heard spent hours, 10 hours pushing the baby out. When that happens, imagine 10 hours of somebody pushing down on your head for 10 hours straight. How much of a headache, how much of a pain in the neck is that going to be? All that pressure, all that force coming out. It is just wise to have that child checked chiropractically. A lot of times in C-sections, the baby is stuck. That's the whole reason that the baby has to come out via C-section. The head's stuck, the baby didn't turn, so the hips are stuck. Something goes along with that. I've heard mothers tell me horror stories of their C-section. They didn't feel being cut open or anything, but they physically felt their bodies being pulled off the table as they were pulling the baby out of their abdomen. That tells me that that baby was extremely stuck somewhere in the pelvis or something for them to physically lift the mom off for the baby to come out. That baby needs to be checked. It was stuck. It may have got stuck there while it was growing, while it was developing. It's worth it to have the baby checked. It takes very little time. It's very little risk. You should just have the baby checked. The next myth I want to discuss is chiropractic care is expensive. My question is, how much is living a long, happier, healthy, pain-free life worth to you? And then you got to look at it from the chiropractic side. In most chiropractic offices, insurance is accepted. And most insurances nowadays cover chiropractic care. So you're looking at going to a chiropractor for, a copay or maybe even just a percentage. If your office doesn't take insurance, most chiropractors have affordable cash plans that you can sign up for. And if you don't have chiropractic insurance, you get the cash plan. And most of the time, it is reasonable and fairly priced. So here's my advice for people who think that chiropractic care is very expensive. Think about it this way. What if you had a very drippy faucet? It was just leaking under the sink. You noticed it one day. It hadn't really caused any damage. It wasn't rotting through the wood underneath or anything like that. It just a little puddle of water, not a big deal. Not even really dripping, fast enough that you could see it. You had to sit there and stare at it for a while to even realize that it was dripping there. You could fix that right now, and it would be a little bit of a burden. I mean, it takes a little bit of time, and it takes a little bit of money. Or you could wait a couple of years. Let that drippy faucet get very leaky. Now it's streaming water down. And by this time, it's eaten out the baseboard underneath the faucet. It's leaked down into the ceiling. It's in the basement. It's ruined the drywall down there. It might even be leaking all the way into the basement. This problem started as something very little. Now it's become this huge festering headache and issue. You've got a mold infestation and everything else. This is going to cost you thousands of dollars. So this goes back to the old saying, 1 little ounce of prevention is worth a pound of treatment. So if you could take the time in the beginning when you notice something isn't quite right, get it fixed, it's going to be a lot cheaper for you. If you let something fester for years and years and years until you can't tolerate it anymore, you're going to end up paying more to fix it. That's true with life in general. The longer you wait to fix something, the more costly it's going to be to fix it. However, chiropractic care in general is pretty reasonable. And if it's not, hunt around for another chiropractor. Not all chiropractors charge the same thing. We don't discuss fees with each other. We don't try to set them the same. Most of us base our fees off of the Medicare allowable rate. So they are very reasonable for that specific region. A chiropractor in New York City can charge more than I can in St. Louis, Missouri. So call around, check it out, go see a couple of different chiropractors. The important thing is find one that's going to get to the root issue of your problem. And then you will see the value in the care and it doesn't look as expensive. The last one that I have is you are going to have to go to the chiropractor the rest of your life. Now, while this is actually a myth, you don't have to go back to a chiropractor the rest of your life. There is some truth to that statement because a chiropractor should be looked at as a routine visit, at least bare minimum, no holds bar, twice a year. You should see your chiropractor twice a year for a spinal check. Make sure they document the health of your spine and make sure that they have it on file in case you should need it. Heaven forbid if an accident happened or anything else where you would need to prove that you were healthy within 6 months ago. A chiropractor is not going to keep you on a 3 times a week for life treatment plan. And if they do, they are not the chiropractor that you need to be seeing. I tell all of my patients, if I can't fix it with this treatment plan, I am not doing my job. Not everybody coming into my office has to see me multiple times a week. Some people don't even have to see me monthly. It is all based off of what your body is doing, what your history and your exam findings tell me, and my past history with similar cases and how long it takes to get those cases better. I'm not going to lie. I will tell you there are patients that have come into my office and they have needed to see me daily for about a week. I have never kept anyone on a daily plan for longer than a week, and I have never kept anyone coming to me more than 3 times a week for more than 2 weeks. A treatment plan should steadily progress. It's going to start with more frequency in the beginning, and it's going to spread out over time as you progress. The big thing to that is you need to make sure that the chiropractor is doing re-examinations, and that at those re-examinations, you're discussing what's our next plan of action. Just because you're pain-free doesn't mean you're done seeing a chiropractor. Pain is usually the last thing that comes on and the first thing to go away. So whenever I'm treating a patient and I've gotten them out of pain, that's where the stabilization phase of the care comes in. You're going to start getting more stretches. You're going to start getting exercises to strengthen the area. A lot of times these instabilities are caused because a muscle isn't working as properly as it should and other muscles are pulling too hard. So all of those things need to be addressed so that this situation doesn't come back in a few months or even a year. I hope that addressed some of the myths that we hear about chiropractors on a daily basis. If you have any more, feel free to post them down below. If you want to ask me any questions, post them down below so that I can answer them in future podcasts. And make sure that you're subscribing so that you can see all my future stuff. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey guys, what a ride. I hope you enjoyed it. Now that you have been armed with that knowledge, I want you to go out and apply it. Know someone who could benefit from this info? Please share it with them. We'd love to hear from you. Call or text us at 636-678-4342. Or better yet, stop in and say hi the next time you're around our Fenton, Missouri office.